The race to electrify the transport and energy sectors has given rise to the 282 battery gigafactories in production or to be announced by 2031, with nearly 6 gigawatts of lithium-ion capacity. The market for lithium-ion EV batteries is now at $27 billion per year business, and is expected to increase by at least 10 times by 2030 as all existing ICE vehicle production becomes EV production. The demand is enormous. An average electric vehicle will need about 70 kilowatts of battery to provide a 300 to 400 kilometer range. So if a manufacturer makes 1 million vehicles a year, they will need at least 75 gigawatt capacity factories. The transition from ICEs to EVs has become a focal point of the global electrification drive. In 2020, global sales of EVs increased a robust 39% year-on-year to 3.1 million units. An impressive feat right in the midst of a major health crisis. Bloomberg New Energy Finance, or BNEF, however, says 2021 is yet another record year for EV sales globally, with an estimated 5.6 million units sold, good for 83% year-on-year growth and a 168% increase over 2019 sales. BNEF has forecast that annual EV sales will approach 30 million units globally by 2030. That means that the world will need a massive ramp-up in electric battery production. Indeed, experts have said that the worldwide lithium battery market is expected to grow by a factor of 5 to 10 in the next decade. The goal is for batteries to come down in cost. Costs have reduced 97% over 2 decades due to research and development, or R&D, scale in production, and the advent of gigafactories. Lithium-ion batteries will be the primary battery for at least the next decade because of lower cost to make, primarily due to ongoing R&D, but also due to gigafactories such as Tesla, Panasonic, Nevada Gigafactory. Becoming better, lithium-ion batteries are now probably 3 times better than they were in 2015. More energy dense, longer life, becoming abundant due to these gigafactory scale. Battery gigafactories in the USA. The USA has about 20 million of the 80 million vehicles sold annually. The Gigafactory name came from Tesla and partner Panasonic from their Nevada Gigafactory naming, and is now used by Tesla for Shanghai, Berlin, and Texas Gigafactories for cars. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, 13 new battery cell gigafactories are expected to come online in the U.S. by 2025. Apart from Tesla Incorporated's new Gigafactory Texas and Austin, Ford Motors has lined up 3 gigafactories, one in northeast of Memphis, Tennessee, and 2 in central Kentucky, with the latter 2 being a joint venture between the company and South Korea's energy holding conglomerate SK Innovations. General Motors plans to build no less than 4 gigafactories, with one being a JV with LG Chem and the other 3 being JVs with LG Energy Solutions, or LGES. LGES is one of the world's top electric vehicle battery makers, supplying the likes of Tesla and General Motors. LG Energy Solutions has applied for preliminary approval of an IPO that the publication IFR says could fetch $10 billion to $12 billion, easily South Korea's biggest ever listing. LG Energy Solutions has announced plans to invest more than $4.5 billion in its U.S. battery plant by 2025. Meanwhile, SK Innovations plans to build 2 battery factories in northeast of Atlanta, Georgia. Stellantis NV is teaming up with LG Energy Solutions and Samsung SDI to build 2 factories in yet-to-be-determined locations, while Toyota Motor Corp and Volkswagen plan to build a gigafactory apiece in southeast of Greensboro, North Carolina, and Chattanooga, Tennessee, respectively. Gigafactories for Europe. Over 500 gigawatt-hour annual production capacity for Li-ion battery cells had been announced for Europe in 2020, enough to equip approximately 7 million electric vehicles. And those announcements were further increased in 2021. Europe has about 20 million of the 80 million cars made globally. The most recent announcements are for a total of 38. 17 secured funding, representing approximately $30 billion of total investment. 10 other projects, $16.8 billion, are partially financed, and 11 are announced. If all 38 gigafactories make it to production, they could be delivering as much as 462 gigawatt-hours worth of battery cells by 2025, and 1,144 gigawatt-hour by 2030, enough to power over 90% of expected new vehicle sales in that year. According to Transport and Environment's analysis, this would give Europe a 20% market share of global cell production by 2025, making it second only to China. And the battery manufacturing startup, Northvolt, has also announced a new battery cell gigafactory coming to Germany. is the firm's third large-scale battery factory. Northvolt is a battery startup founded by two former Tesla executives who worked on Tesla's first Gigafactory in Nevada with Panasonic. The company planned to recreate the Gigafactory concept of having a giant battery factory producing in the gigawatt-hour level of battery cells for electric cars. It received backing and started factory projects with several automakers, including Volkswagen, and last year, it added Volvo to the list with a plan to build a new battery factory in Europe to support the Swedish automaker's EV ambitions. In December, Northvolt announced that it started battery cell production at its first Gigafactory, lending more credibility to its several other battery factories in partnership with automakers. Now the company is already closing the deal on a third Gigafactory. Today, Northvolt announces its intention to establish a battery Gigafactory in Heide, Schleswig-Holstein, northern Germany, with an annual potential production capacity of 60 gigawatt-hour. Northvolt Dry will deliver a supply of sustainably produced lithium-ion batteries to the European market, sufficient for some 1 million electric vehicles. Adding to its two other gigafactories, it should increase Northvolt's total capacity to a significant 170 gigawatt-hour of battery cell production when the new plant goes into production in 2025. Peter Carlson, co-founder and CEO of Northvolt, commented on the new announcement. "We're excited to announce Northvolt Dry, a project which fits well into a promising future cluster of clean technology ventures emerging in northern Germany and advances the wider European transition towards a sustainable society within which Germany plays a crucial role. Part of the reason the new plant landed in Heide, Schleswig-Holstein, is due to the region being known for having the cleanest energy grid in Germany, thanks to onshore and offshore wind power, which is also reinforced by clean energy provided through grid interconnections to Denmark and Norway." Carlson added, "It matters how we produce a battery cell. If you use coal in your production, you embed a fair amount of CO2 into your battery. But if we use clean energy, we can build a very sustainable product. Our philosophy is that new energy-intensive industries, such as battery manufacturing, should be established in actual geographical proximity to where the clean energy is produced. Battery cell production is an energy-intensive manufacturing process, and having access to clean energy makes a big difference." Northvolt is also committed to establishing a recycling facility at the new plant. The company has a strong commitment to recycling batteries and plans to use a high percentage of recycled battery materials in its future production. Last year, Northvolt claimed to have produced the first battery cell from 100% recycled nickel, manganese, and cobalt. However, there have been minor concerns around. One of the credible ones has been from Simon Moores, CEO of Benchmark Mineral Intelligence. Simon believes that the plans of the companies might be a tad impractical. Simply put, it takes at least 5 to 7 years to build a lithium mine. With all the money in the world, you can build one in 5 years, but it takes 24 months to build a gigafactory. So that's the disconnect. And still, the automakers are announcing all these battery plants. At the same time, they should be announcing new lithium mines, or new lithium refining capacity, at least, if they didn't want to get into mining, because they go hand in hand. But that's not happening yet, and as a result, any of the EV goals between 2026 and 2030, it's a red alert. Most of these guys won't even meet a fraction of their EV targets because of that. But let's hope they can somehow pull rabbits out of their hats. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Also, click on the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Thank you.